Hi, boys and girls. It's Mr. Yates, and for the last time in 5th grade as a student teacher, it's Miss Garcia doing one more spiral math for old time's sake. And since we also got popular demand, people really love Darth Vader doing their vid. We're gonna have Darth Vader also, just one last time, also bringing him in to share his little comments about it. So welcome everybody. And Darth, are you there, my friends?
What is thy bidding, my master?
Well, we're going to go ahead and help out with spiral math, okay? So let's go and do that right now. So General Akbar, which I guess apparently Arjun told me is supposed to be Admiral Akbar, so whoops. Admiral Akbar looked at an outline in the state of Nevada and discovered, and it was a certain type of quadrilateral. So what type of quadrilateral do you think it is? Oh, I think Admiral Akbar was onto something. It was a trapezoid, boys and girls. And if you look at it a little bit, I'll zoom out a little more here. You can see that it is actually a trapezoid. And how do you know? Let me zoom out a little bit more. Miss Garcia, do you notice anything about it that kind of gives it that quadrilateral feel?
I would say that it had a quadrilateral feel. I would definitely say that it has two sets of, has one set of parallel lines, that's for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll go ahead and put that in there. It has two sets of parallel lines. Oh no, one set of parallel lines.
It has one set, yeah.
That's right, that's right, that's right. All right, so we'll do that. It has one set of parallel lines. I'm sorry, I made a copier here.
You have failed me for the last time.
I'm sorry, Darth. I'm going to go ahead and just write it correctly. It has one set of parallel lines. Only, comma, so it must be, and you know what it must be, boys and girls. Oh, I almost had it there in a minute. You know what it must be. So yes, it must be a trapezoid. All right. And that's enough of Admiral Akbar for right now. So we'll go ahead and Ms. Garcia, do you want to read number 2 for me as I scroll it on down here?
Yes. All right. Is that Jabba?
Jabba the Hutt.
Jabba the Hutt needs to eat about 88 pounds of food every day. What is the prime factorization of 88? So we want to go ahead and write for our answer sentence the prime factorization of 88 is. And make sure you guys have prime factorization of 88 in your answer sentence.
Okay.
All right, so is how I personally do these is I make a factor tree. So,
Correct.
so I first go ahead and write your 88, and then you want to draw your two stems of your tree. And I always remember 88 as 11 times 8. And since 11 is prime, you can't break that down anymore. So go ahead and circle it. And so there we have our 11. And then our 8, though, we can definitely break down. We can break that down by 4 times 2. And 2 would be prime, so you can go ahead and circle your 2. But our 4 can still be broken down to 2 times 2. So it looks like we have 11 times 2 times 2 times 2. So that is going to be the prime factorization, or you can also write it as 11 times 2 cubed. Perfect.
Or we could also do it, we could switch it around too. We could also do it as 2 to the 3rd power times 11.
Yep, that works too.
Impressive.
All right.
Most impressive.
All right, let's go on now to number 3. Of the 20 X-Wing fighters that attacked the Death Star, 14 of them were destroyed. Luke wrote the fraction that were destroyed as 14 over 20. How would you write that fraction as a decimal? And I could just say the fraction, 14 over 20, as a decimal is, and what I want to do here is I want to take 14 over 20, and I guess what I could do is I could turn this 20, I guess I'd want to turn that 20 decimal, so decimals would probably be like a 10 as my denominator. I think that would work. Oh no, I guess you're right. I should be doing that, Darth. What's wrong? Oh yeah, I can't multiply anything by 20 to get 10. So what I should probably do is turn this into 100. That way I could still have a decimal. So I would take 20 times 5 is equal to 100. And whatever I do on the bottom, I'm going to have to do on the top when I multiply. So it'll be 14 times 5. That 14 times 5 is going to equal 70. Now, if I just read that out loud, 70 over 100, well, that's 70 hundredths. So I can go ahead and write that as this, 0 and 70 hundredths.
That is correct.
All right, excellent. All right, let's go on to number 4, Ms. Garcia.
All right. So number 4 says, Baby Yoda, my sister's all-time favorite thing. She even bought a
So
shirt
cute.
with him, guys. That's the level of cuteness. I've been slacking, haven't even seen The Mandalorian. I know, they'll come for me. Okay. It says number 4, Baby Yoda drinks 1 1/3 cups of soup every day. How many cups of soup does he drink in a week? So, for your guys' answer sentence, you're going to want to say, Baby Yoda drinks.
All right.
Blank cups. Make sure you guys have cups of soup.
Okay.
In a week.
Oops. Let me make sure I put some spaces. All right, great.
All right, so now is what we're going to do is you're going to want to go ahead and multiply your 1 1/3 times 7 because there's 7 days in a week. So our first step for this is going to be realizing that we can't multiply this out the way it is right now because one of them is a mixed number. So we have to turn that mixed number into an improper fraction. So
Okay.
we want to go ahead and drop our denominator because our denominator stays the same.
Oh, yeah.
And then we want to go ahead and multiply our denominator by our whole number, which 3 times 1 gives you 3. And then we want to add that numerator to our 3. So 3 plus 1 gives you 4. So you should end up with 4/3 times 7.
Good work.
And we want to put our 7 over a 1 just so that is also a fraction. Yep, just like so. And then we go ahead and multiply across. So 4 times 7 gives you 28, and 3 times 1 gives you 3. But boys and girls, this is not quite simplified. So we want to go ahead and divide our 28 by our 3. And so 28 divided by 3. So 3 doesn't go into 2, but it does go into 8. It goes in 9 times. 9 times 3 gives you 27. When you subtract, you get 1. So your final answer should be 9 1/3. So your answer sentence should read something similar to Baby Yoda drinks 9 1/3 cups of soup in a week.
That is correct.
All right, we'll flip the page. And I'm going to go ahead and I don't really want to number these.
I must obey him. I must.
All right, we'll go ahead and we'll number these. That's important. All right. Answer. Work. Read number 5. All right. By the way, shout out to Arjun, who told me the Kowakian monkey lizard is from The Empire Strikes Back. Well done, my friend. And he also gave me a scene from The Mandalorian where it actually also is in there. So well done. An important part of Jedi training is learning the mysteries of fractions. As a young Padawan, Obi-Wan was asked to choose which expression below is equivalent to 3/8 plus 1/4. Do you know what expression Obi-Wan should have chosen? Let's go and take a look at the choices. Just not sure. I'm doubting.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
All right, I'll try harder and look at these again. Well, let's see. 3/8 plus 1/4. Well, it looks like the one that really makes the most sense is 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/8. Altogether, that's going to equal 3/8. And then you add the 1/4. That's actually equivalent. So I'm going to say Obi-Wan should have chosen 1/8, and we'll put in parentheses 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/4 is the same thing as 3/8, 1, 2, 3, plus 1/4. All right, I think I got that one, right, Darth? Darth. Oh, he's just not there with me right now. We'll let him be. All right, we're going to move on. All right, go ahead, Ms. Garcia.
All right. So, number 6 says 3/8 of the Death Star is a planet-killing super laser beam. Wow. 1/3 of the Death Star is just empty space. What fraction of the Death Star is not a planet-killing super laser beam or empty space? So, for number 6, your guys' answer sentence should have, should say something similar to blank of the Death Star. Yes, the Death Star is the actual planet, I'm gonna guess. Yeah, okay. The Death Star.
Wait, you don't know the Death Star?
No, I don't know like anything really. I just.
For the last time, Admiral.
So yeah, I'm a little
Watch it
lagging.
tonight. Watch it with your sister. Watch it.
I know. All right, of the Death Star planet, right? Or is it a planet?
Just leave it as a Death Star. Blank
Okay.
of the Death Star.
Is not, or
A-
yeah, a planet-killing super laser beam.
It's not a planet killer laser beam. Or empty space.
Or empty space.
Okay. I'm going to try a little bit of a unit bar here just to help me with that thinking, Ms. Garcia.
All
We
right.
want to have it show like all the Death Star. So that's one whole Death Star right here if we put 1.
Yes.
And then how much of the Death Star is not it is a planet-killing laser beam?
3/8.
Okay, as I know, 3/8 is a little bit less than 1/2 because 4/8 is 1/2. So we know that 4/8 of it is, and I'm going to say planet killing laser beam, PKLB. For
Oh,
short.
3/8.
Oh my goodness. I have made another mistake.
Don't fail me again.
Oh, he's
He's
gonna
harsh.
come for you.
He's harsh. All right. All right. So 3/8. So, and then 1/3 of the, how much of the Death Star is just empty space, Miss Garcia?
1/3.
All right. So 1/3 is about, let's see if I'm, well, about this much. So I'll say that's 1/3. And that's just empty space. And that's just empty. Nothing's in there. And then the rest of it is our question mark. So 3/8 plus 1/3 plus a question mark is going to equal 1 whole. So what I can do is let's turn these into, let's add these up to see if we could turn them into improper fract, or add up the total amount that is not empty space or planet killing laser beam. So Ms. Garcia, can we add these up?
Ooh, some people would say yes, but you actually can't because the denominators are different.
Oh, you're right. All right. So let's see, our least common multiple, we're going to go with 24.
Yes.
All right. So what's going to happen next?
All right, so we want to go ahead and multiply our top fraction by 3, because that's how we got to 24. So our 8 times 3 got us the 24, and then 3 times 3 gives us 9. And then on the bottom fraction, we want to multiply by 8. So 1 times 8 gives you 8, and then, yep, perfect. So now we can officially add these together, but we don't add the denominator. So
Nope.
9 plus 8 gives us 17. And so 17 over 24 is going to be our answer when we add that.
Okay. So we've added those up. So these two parts of the Death Star are going to equal 17 over 24 of the Death Star. So that means 17/24. The remainder, or the leftover part, is what we want to know. So this mystery number plus 17 over 24 equals 1 whole. Well, I know that 1 whole is equal to 24 over 24. So now I can see right here, I have 17 over 24 plus a mystery number, or a mystery fraction, I should be specific. It's going to equal 24 over 24. What would that mystery number be?
Well, you could subtract. You could do your 24 of 24, subtract your 17 over 24. To where that would get you what is left.
All right.
So our very first step is going to be to make sure that we want to write these vertically, though.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
That is correct.
So I'm going to go ahead and just write that over here. Make some space.
And the good news is we can subtract these right off the bat because our denominators are the same. So we want to go ahead and subtract 17 from 24. So that should give you 7. So your final answer should be 7 over 24, because I know that 7 is a prime number, so that can't be simplified anymore. So your guys' answer sentence, it's kind of a long one, should read 7/24 of the Death Star is not a planet-killing super laser beam or empty space.
All right. Excellent. All right. Let's go on and move on. Number 7. Oh, all right. Monday, page 4. That's a long one, but all the pictures. The average height of a tauntaun, which is from Empire Strikes Back, the little animal here that Luke is riding, is 84 inches. About how many feet is that? Now, the key word that we see here is about. About is in there. It's important because that means that we're going to be doing some estimating here. But we're going to be doing that after we find out how many feet we've got. So let's do this right here. What we're going to do is we're going to look and say a tauntaun is blank, or I'm sorry, about blank feet tall. Now, boys and girls, I've kind of used up my space here for my math, so I'm just going to get another piece of paper so I can do some math here without making it, yeah, I want to do that because, you know, you just want to make sure that you always have space for your paper. I think that's super important. You want to have space for your work. So I'm just going to do that over here. So I'm going to move this over here, and then we'll get started. All right. Okay, good. All right, so we know that the number of inches that a tauntaun is height is 84. I also know that 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. What I'll do is I'm going to take 84 and divide it by 12 inches. When I do that, I take 12 times, well, let's think, 12 times 7 is 14, that's 90, that's, oh, 12 times 7, that's 14, carry the 1, is 84 exactly. So when I actually was thinking to myself, I thought I'd have a remainder and this would be rounding, but apparently I don't. I guess I was mentally able to put together the right height. So I guess he's exactly 7 feet tall. So that's what we'll do. There's no remainder here at all. You don't have to estimate it all around it. So a tauntaun is about 7 feet tall. And actually he is exactly, so I can even cross out the word about. So I don't even have to worry about that.
Most impressive.
All right. Now let's go ahead and we'll move on to number 8. Our final one.
Woo.
The Super Star Destroyer.
Wow. Is that like a that's a flying machine?
Yes, Super Star Destroyer is the biggest one of the Star Wars flying vehicles other than the Death Star. It's super big. And it's really long. How long is it, Miss Garcia?
All right, it's 1 9/10 times 10 to the 3rd power meters long. How many kilometers is that? So, all right, so our answer sentence is going to say the Super Star Destroyer
And since it's capitalized, I'll just capitalize it here. The Super Star Destroyer is
blank kilometers long.
All right, great.
All right, so we are going to want to use our King Henry died unexpectedly drinking chocolate milk.
But first, there's something else we need to do.
Yes, so we have to figure out what our 1.9 times 10 to the 3rd power is. So we want to go ahead, and so we know 10 to the 3rd is going to be 1,000. So that is going to mean that we're going to need to move over that place value 3 times. So, and make sure it's to the right. So, just like Mr. Yates did, he annexed a couple zeros just for those place value holders. So that actually gives you 1,900 meters. That's not transferring it into kilometers yet, or converting, I should say. So the number that we're actually going to be working with is going to be 1,900. So go ahead and write out your guys' King Henry died unexpectedly drinking chocolate milk. And so we are going to be going from our meters, which is going to be our U, because that's our unit of measurement. And we are going to be moving it to our K. That's all the way at the far left. So we're going to want to go ahead and count how many jumps it takes to get to our K. So it takes 1, 2, and 3. And remember, whichever direction that you do your hops, is the same direction you move your decimal. So we are going to go ahead and move our decimal on our 1,900. And our decimal is going to be all the way at the very end on the right. And we're going to go ahead and count 3 place values to the left. So 1, 2, and 3. So you should end with 1.9, and you don't have to write those zeros after the 9 anymore. So you should end with the Superstar Destroyer is 1 9/10 kilometers long.
And we're back where we started. So it's
Most impressive.
1.9 kilometers long. All right, great. Thank you, Ms. Garcia.
Yep.
All right, boys, girls, as always, if you have questions, you can email me. And make sure you fill out the survey afterwards. So let me know how you did on the spiral math. And Ms. Garcia, thank you so much for all your help with all these many, many videos. I really do appreciate it. And look forward to seeing what you produce up in 7th grade next year.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, bye guys.